Let's walk down memory lanes. Let's talk history. Let's talk politics. And let's talk power. The program is State Affairs. I am Edmondo Pilo. My guest is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He is a political scientist. My guest is an analyst on human affairs. Dr. Akin Onigbide, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Good morning, Edmondo Bilo. It's a privilege, a pleasure to be in your studios today.
I look at this politics. Some see hope. Some see despair. What do you see?
We must never despair. We must never, ever give up. Human history is strewn with all sorts of discouraging and debilitating circumstances. But it is them that hope that win. No matter what the level of difficulties that we confront in our individual lives, in our communities, in our country, we must never, give up hope. We shall yet succeed. We shall yet be great. I'm hopeful.
What does hope do to the body?
Well, I am not a scientist, but I know enough to understand that hopelessness, depression, lack of faith generate terrible hormones. They even affect the mental state of individuals and communities. Hopelessness gives way to crime. Hopelessness has been identified as one of the major factors that encourages crime and criminality. And therefore, either as individual or as community, we must never allow ourselves to secrete hormones that will lead us into despair, into hopelessness. What hope does, understanding that the human makeup is not just our physical body, we also have a mental composition. It is the mind that controls most of our activities or inactivity. And therefore, the interface between our mind and our bodies must never be polluted by negative feelings, negative emotions. It must be in such a balance of interface that yet no matter how difficult things are, no matter how discouraging things are, we must always see light. We must always encourage ourselves, to see a brighter day after today. And we must also warn ourselves that even things are okay, even things are doing well, we must never take it for granted. The price of liberty, the writer said, is eternal vigilance. We must always be sure that even when things are right, that we do not abuse, the processes.
You just mentioned the mind. And it reminds me of Churchill's statement that the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. For you to build a great state, you must first dream it. And to dream it is a function of the mind. Is that not so?
Absolutely so. Absolutely. You can't be more correct. The realities that we confront, whether negative or first exist in the mind of people. Even people that commit crime. A lot of times, it's when they lie down on their bed that they try to figure out. And those people, that think of great progress for society, for themselves, it all starts, from their minds. Therefore, even the scripture teaches us that we should guard our mind with all diligence, because out of it proceeds all the issues of life. Mind is an extremely powerful, gift of God that enables us to envision, to translate our physical abilities, our physical resources in the world into what becomes, of benefit, to all of us. empires of the future indeed are empires of the mind.
That means you are telling us that if we want to build a great future, we must build a system that advances the minds of the people. A system that is so robust that the mind begins to think creatively.
I like to add that as a matter of fact, no society, no individual can accomplish more than his mind can conceive. Whatever it is that an individual wants to accomplish, whatever it is that a society wants achieved, must be through the instrumentality of the mind. If Nigeria wants to rival all the
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You are a local guy.
I think I am a local guy.
Local guy. You know Ibadan.
Yes, I do know Ibadan very well.
You know all the corners.
I know Ibadan. At some point in my life, when I left university before I went for service, in the evening I'll just take my car and just drive around. So I know corners in Ibadan. Sometimes when my driver is taking me out, or if we're going out and there's traffic somewhere, I know how to maneuver Ibadan.
You were a young boy who knew town.
I was a young boy.
You had street credibility.
Yes, I think I do. I think I do.
Can I call you a street guy?
Well, if it's a good thing, why not?
Don't you play your politics on the street?
Well, I do, of course. For anybody who plays politics in Ibadan Southeast and Northeast, must be a street guy. You must have street credibility. That's the core Ibadan. That's a place where people don't care who you are. They only bother about your relationship with them.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
He instructed Chief Okugo, the warrant chief, to complete everything about the head counting and taxation before his return.
You said the white man is on leave?
Yes, he is.
So, who sent you to do the counting?
I said Chief Okugo, the warrant chief.
Amaji, go and tell Okugo that women have said no to the proposed counting of human beings because counting of human beings is a taboo and it affects the life and fertility of human race. Also, tell him that we women will never pay tax because we do not own anything by ourselves. Rather, we are owned by our husbands. Therefore, the taxes which our husbands pay have covered us.
Okay, I see. I will go back to the people that sent me. As a messenger, I will not speak in parables.
Better for you. What kind of nonsense is this? How can a man sit in his house and crush his own testicles?
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
After the elections, the legitimacy of the election was being questioned. If you remember.
Yeah.
Small fact, Labour Party, if you then went to the social media platforms in 2023, you actually thought Labour Party won the elections. They were everywhere on the social media.
Did they win the election?
They did not. Unfortunately, the perception out there was that they won, they were rigged out. So I took it on myself and my team.
Were they rigged out?
No!
Did they not win the election?
They did not!
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You are a politician.
Yes, I am.
You are the son of Lam.
Yes, I am. The
former-
great lamb.
The great Lam.
The great lamb.
The former governor for your state.
Yes.
What did Lam teach you?
First and foremost, it was my English teacher. At the time I was to write my WAEC exam, he was the one who taught me English. And I had my first WAEC when I was in SS2. I didn't even wait till my SS3 before I wrote my first exam, and I passed English. So all of the exams that I've written were before I entered the University of Ibadan. I'd never failed English. So it was firstly my English teacher, my father, and then my political mentor. It taught me to be steadfast. It taught me to know how to persevere. Even without him telling you that you should know how to persevere, seeing everything that happened to him will teach you that you must persevere in life. And to also know that at the end of the day, perseverance, peace.
Lam was a teacher.
He was a teacher.
A professional teacher. He taught in schools.
Yeah, and at some point he was a principal. After that, he had a bookstore somewhere in Popoyemoja, around Okeado in Ibadan.
He was a bookseller.
He was a bookseller.
You are the son of a bookseller.
Yes.
So there were a lot of books in the house?
A lot. A whole lot.
Did you read them?
Well, some.
How much did you read as the son of a teacher?
Well, I did. I tried my best. I still read till today. If you get to my house, I have an office in the house. I have books that I read. You know, I still read. I like motivational books. It encourages me. It strengthens me. It tells me that nothing is impossible.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Was Peter Obi the biggest headache in that election?
No, I never saw him. You see, let me tell you, by hindsight now, I think if Peter Obi, I might be wrong, had stayed with Atiku, PDP would probably have won.
PDP probably would have won.
Probably. But you see, the moment Peter Obi entered the race on a different ticket, I was sure we were going to win.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live. The book of the day, Do Not Die in Their War, by Dele Farotimi. Look at what he wrote here. He says, once upon a time, the Nigerian press was a critical force for good. It queried assumptions and demanded account. You could count on the courage and essential honesty of our pressmen and women. Our media was the envy of Africa and a veritable bulwark against the forces of tyranny in our country. But today, as with every other sector of Nigeria, the press is irredeemably lost. The press is irredeemably lost. Dele Farotimi continues. In place of truth, our press has become purveyors of falsehood. Truth has become subjective and colored, and you need not read, listen, or watch a news piece for long. It is very easy to tell who has paid for what. It is very easy to tell who has paid for what piece of news. The oppressed have lost the capacity to tell their stories. And when they would dare, the platforms are owned by beneficiaries of the oppressive system or the oppressors, be that by proxy or in the full glare of the people. Do you agree with Dele Farutimi? You'll find that in his book, Do Not Die in Their War. Do not die in their war. Whose war? Who is fighting? Peter Obi versus Tinubu. Dele Farutimi says, do not die in their war. Look at what he said again. He said, I have seen comrades who became legislators or commissioners rapidly transformed to join the senseless race for personal aggrandizement and the pursuit of private wealth at the expense of the commonwealth. Is there a commonwealth? Where is it? Where is the commonwealth? Have you seen it? Where? I need my share. Okay. Dele Farutimi says, we've all made one compromise or the other and gradually become the men that we once condemned. He says the problem with Nigeria goes beyond corruption. I will even go as far as to suggest that corruption is not the problem. The problem is impunity, as well as the immunity that comes with the sporadic psychosis of corruption that have plagued our country from ages past. Dele Farutimi writes, read Dele Farutimi's book, Do Not Die in Their War. You'll find this book on udarabooks.com. udarabooks.com. You can also contact Udara Books on WhatsApp. You can contact Udara Books on WhatsApp. That is 080 18449. 080 18449. You've been hearing the voice of Lai Muhammad. Lai Muhammad wrote a good book, detailed. You might disagree with his argument, but that does not stop the book from being good. Well written. It is entitled Headlines and Sound Bites, Media Moments That Defined an Administration. Lai Muhammad, Minister of Information, 2015 to 2023. This is Lai Muhammad's book. Have you read this book? You'll find this book on udarabooks.com. udarabooks.com. And you can contact Udara Books on 080 999 18449. Lai Muhammad also writes, and I'm happy we are writing. We are now writing. We are writing. It excites me. I like it when a nation writes different arguments, and I'm reading. The next book I want to read is the book written by Devil. If you find it, send it to me. I want to know how the devil thinks. Perhaps it should be titled Devil's Diary. If you find it, send it to me. How come our babalawos don't write books? Pastors write books. They are books. Hey, are you a babalawo listening to me? Write a book. I want to read your book. Tell me how you discuss with the gods. where they live. How do I find them? How do you call thunder? Write about it. Thunder. Shango is coming. Run. Babalawos write books for us I want to read. The Devil's Diary. Perhaps I'll be the one to write that book. How does the devil think? Where does the devil live? How come we don't look for the devil? We're always looking for heaven. And yet it's the devil that is preventing people from going to heaven. We should find devil so that everybody goes to heaven. What do you think? Hey. Have you seen this book, The Sokoto Caliphate? Some of you, when you hear Fulani, you'll be frowning. Yet you don't want to study the Fulani. The Fulani is more than banditry if you don't know. The Fulani is science. The Fulani is ruggedity, precision, strategy. Study the Fulani. Do you want to get power for change? Then study the character of the Fulani. Don't let banditry distract you from the innate quality of the Fulani. There's something about the Fulani that makes the Fulani special. I'm reading about the Fulani. Perhaps I need to go into the forest and stay with the headsman. Who will take me into the forest? Will Shea Makinde take me there? Let me understand the way they think. However, if you read this book, The Sokoto Caliphate, you will understand the politics of the Fulani. The Sokoto Caliphate. Hey, it's a sweet book. I love it. I'm embracing it. Have you read the book? By Maury Last, The Sokoto Caliphate. No, it's not on the website yet. It's not on the website yet. The book just arrived. If you are interested, contact Udara Books on 080 18449. It says in the common phrases, Sokoto Jihad, Sokoto Empire, the term Sokoto is an anachronism, founded as a camp late in 1809, over 5 years after the jihad began. The town of Sokoto for most of the 19th century was not the residence of the Caliph or his court. How did the Fulani convince the British to love them? You can get angry as much as you like. That's your cup of tea. How did the Fulani convince the British to love them dearly? That the British kept frowning at Awolowo and Azikiwe. What did the Fulani do to the British? That when they were leaving, they gave them power. Take it, keep it. And you are not studying them. If you read this book, you will see their strategy. If I have the time, and I will get it, I will tap into the Fulani for national development hugely. That tribe holds huge potential for national development. You can't see it. You can't see it. You're only seeing banditry. By the way, how can a small tribe... I'm not saying every bandit is a Fulani. No, certainly no. There are Igbo bandits, Yoruba bandits. But how can those bandits hold a nation to ransom? And we can't defeat them. We've been crying for 5 years. Say ragtag bandits, ragtag. They are expanding. There's something about them. You chase them here, they come out from here. Donald Trump has thrown bombs and they move. There's something about them. Study this book, The Sokoto Caliphate. And the essence of knowledge is to solve the problems of society. If knowledge cannot solve the problems of society, then it's no knowledge. We are producing PhDs every day. We can't solve our problems. We can't. We have professors everywhere. We can't solve our problems. Anyway, we'll keep producing professors as more problems come. See, Israel is fighting. America is fighting. Iran is fighting. Iran is saying we die here. Israel bombs Iranian oil facility. Iran bombs UAE facilities. If you bomb us, we'll bomb UAE or we'll bomb Qatar. Yet Donald Trump says we've obliterated their missiles. So where are they throwing the missiles from? How? Don't underrate a man that is ready to die. In 1948 to 1949, Arab nations invaded Israel when Israel was born. Israel was born on the 14th of May, 1948. The United States was the first country in the world to recognize Israel as a state. If you want to know more, I have done a class on the birth of Israel. Check my YouTube channel. Immediately after Israel was born, the next day, on the 15th of May, 1948, Arab nations had sworn, they had warned United Nations not to pass the resolution granting Israel independence. But the United Nations voted in favor of the state of Israel. They also voted in favor of the state of Palestine. That means Palestine and Israel will live side by side. But Arab nations said, we don't want that Israel must not exist. So the United Nations voted. And Britain left Palestine. Britain was governing Palestine at the time as a mandate. Immediately, Britain left. Israel declared its independence. The next day, Arab nations invaded Israel. Israel had no army. It was a new state. They were mostly refugees who had run away from Europe and was now moving to their homeland. Now, they had no army. They only had militias. Egypt kept bombing. Transjordan came from one angle. Syria was bombing from the other angle. Iraq. Israel was overwhelmed. Their idea was to destroy Israel that day. But somehow, these Israeli militias survived. They somehow fought back and defeated about 5 Arab nations. If you want to know what happened, go to my YouTube channel. So after that 1948 war, Egypt captured Gaza. Jordan captured the West Bank and the old city of Jerusalem. Israel also increased in size. Many Palestinians became refugees, and the Palestinian state never emerged. I just read from the book, World Politics in a New Era. So Arab nations haven't lost the first war. Remember the philosophical idea that he who fights a runaway lives to fight another day. So Arab nations waited again to say, this Israel, you will go, we destroy you. In 1956, there was another war in the Middle East known as the Suez Crisis. Israel, Great Britain, and France colluded to invade Egypt over the Suez Canal crisis. Israel, Great Britain, and France colluded to invade Egypt because each country has serious distrust of the Nasser regime in Cairo. The United States bitterly opposed Israel, Britain, and France over the Suez War. And this time, the United States had emerged as a world power. It ordered Israel, Great Britain, and France to immediately stop the war. There is no way Britain and France wouldn't have listened, because at this time, Britain and France were broke from fighting the war. They fought Second World War. They were broke. The British Empire had collapsed. The French Empire had collapsed. They were about losing their territories in Africa. By 1957, Ghana got her independence. And by this time, America was funding Britain and France through the Marshall Plan. So they withdrew. Then the Arab nations waited again. Said, this Israel, we will deal with you. If you go to my YouTube channel, I discuss what I call the Hossein Park. I also discuss the Sykes-Picot Agreement. Before the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, before First World War, was the strongest empire in the world. The Ottoman Empire had even conquered some part of Europe. The Ottoman Empire governed the whole of the Arab world and some part of Asia. The Turkey you see today, Turkey is the remnant of the Ottoman Empire. So at some point, Turkey was the strongest country in the world, the Ottoman Empire. Before the end of World War I, Britain and France wanted the collapse of Ottoman Empire. So they were able to infiltrate the Arabs of Ottoman Empire and said, hey, Arabs, why are you allowing the Turks to govern you? Join us to fight the Ottoman Empire. Let's defeat the Ottoman Empire together. When we defeat the Ottoman Empire, you will have your independence. You won't be under the Ottoman Empire anymore. You now have your own country, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. And they loved independence because at this time, the Ottomans were oppressing them. So they joined France and Britain and they defeated the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire collapsed in 1918. Why Britain and France discussed with the Arabs, Britain and France themselves colluded to say, don't mind those Arabs. So by the time we defeat the Ottoman Empire, we will colonize them. So why the Arabs fought with Britain to defeat the Ottoman Empire collapsed and Britain and France colonized the Arabs. That is where this distrust started. Check my YouTube channel. In 1967, there was the Six-Day War. Egypt evicted the United Nations peacekeeping force from Sinai, closes Israeli access to the Gulf of Aqaba, and Arab armies mobilized and threatened to destroy Israel. In response, Israel launched a preemptive strike against Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. By this time, you now had what you call the Israeli army, Israel's defense forces. Though they were taken unawares, but they lived up to it. And that was called the Six-Day War. Six-Day War. It took Israel 6 days to give bloody nose to Arab nations. I don't know how Israel did it. It took Israel 6 days. And they beat the Arab nations. Till today, they are still bleeding. How did they do it? Are you studying Israel? In 2025, there was the 12th Day War. against Iran. In 1967, there was the Six-Day War. But today, I'm interested in the 1973 war and the consequences. The Yom Kippur War. You can call it the Ramadan War too. Who wants to go to war? You are angry about the bandits. The federal government is messing up. They should fight. You, what are you waiting for? Join the army. Join the army and defend your country. Why are you afraid of joining the army? And Lance, some persons are afraid to join the army. If you go to Israel, it is compulsory to join the army as a young man. Who will defend the country? I see all of you jumping up and down. You join the army. Young boys, go and join the army. I know your mommy will be scared. It's not going anywhere. You have to join the army. I hear most of you want to be political scientists, doctors. It's fine. I want to hear that I want to be a soldier. Are you a young man listening to me? Join the army and defend the land. Your mommy will not like it. I wanted to join the army, and I regretted not joining the army. My mother went to gather my uncles and everybody. They came to wake me up that morning at 6 a.m. I was even sleeping. I saw my uncles and aunties in the house. What happened? My mom has gone to invite them that I want to join the army. That over her dead body, our only son joined the army. What's wrong with our only son joining the army? I regretted not. I would have left the house and go and join the army. I wanted to go to NTA. And I would have been a general. And these bandits, I would deal with them. But anyway, I will deal with them with the microphone. When push comes to shove, we will go to war. You can't sit back there and some persons are wielding guns and the only option is to run away. Run to where? Join the army. Go to NDA. Bosun does not want to join the army. Somehow, Bosun will join the army. So, let's go back to Israel. History begins to speak to us again and again, just that we don't listen. You know, what we thought was a story of 1973 is no longer history. I hope you know. It is happening again. So listen carefully. In 1973, the Arab world did not need to defeat the West on the battlefield. They simply touched the artery that sustained it, that is oil. And the entire global system trembled. Nigeria has oil, but we can't even use it as a bargaining tool. Yes, we don't have bombs, but we can use oil as a bargaining tool for development. But we waste it. The world is watching a new dangerous confrontation unfold between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Missiles fly, alliances tighten, threats escalate. But beneath all the noise of war, something worrisome is happening again. Oil is speaking. The narrow waterway known as the Strait of Hormuz, a passage so small on the map, yet so enormous in consequence, has become the center of global anxiety. Why? Because Nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through it. And now, the Gulf of Hormuz is blocked. Ships are stranded on both sides. Tankers are idle on the high sea. They can't pass. Global supply is choked. At one point, traffic through the strait dropped almost to zero, cutting off a massive portion of the world's energy lifeline. And just like in 1973, prices began to rise, and that is what you are feeling now. And if Iran continues to close the Gulf of Hormuz, the prices will rise. In 1973, during the embargo, the price did not rise gradually, not politely, but violently. And we are beginning to see that volatility again. Oil has surged beyond $100 per barrel, climbing more than 50% since the conflict began. And this is sending shock waves through economies across the world, including Nigeria. Some projections whisper something even frightening. $180 per barrel. Should I say be prepared to buy petrol for 2,000 naira per liter? Just leave Tinubu alone, okay? Leave him alone. He's just back from London. Don't stress the man. Carry your cross, please. Tinubu is sleeping. He wants to rest. So now the world remembers. Even Edmond Obilo remembers 1973. The world remembers that energy is not just economics. It is power. Energy is power. It remembers that geography is not just location. Geography is also destiny. You know, sometimes nature bestows you with what you need to survive. And if you deploy it well, you will survive and you will be rich. From my research on personalities, I discovered that most people who complain of immense hardship, that's not to say there is no hardship. Most people who complain are those who are not taking advantage of what they have. They are looking for what somebody else has. So they always see the solution in something else. They are not looking at themselves and saying, what do I have? And then use what you have to grow. Because nature has bestowed every land with special gifts. For Africa, they didn't even know what to do with oil. It was the white man who came to discover it for us. Began to drill it for us. And when they drilled it, okay, we have drilled since we have been drilling from June to December. We drilled 10 barrels. So we'll give you 3 barrels, we'll keep 7. Because we are the one who brought the money, who brought the machine for the drilling. So we are just giving you 3. Oh. We are good. And they just declared only 10. You can't even ascertain if it was 10. They might have drilled about 100 barrels. They just told you it's 10. You don't know. You are naive. You don't think. And you are blaming colonialism. Even now, when they hand it over to you, you cannot manage it. Go to places where people think. Go to Dubai, Doha. It is oil money now that built those cities. Then go to Niger Delta. You know that your people don't think. If you go to Doha, there's this feeling you have, you don't want to come back home again. You just like the feeling, the roads, the infrastructure. And I began to ask, is it not this Qatar? Qatar is not as big as Ibadan. When you are hearing the Qatar, these are cities on a good day. You say the capital of Qatar is Doha. Doha is the only city in Qatar. Doha is Qatar. These are city-states. Look at what they have done with oil. So go to Ogoniland and compare. The next thing you say is Shell. You also have these foreign oil companies in Doha. The foreign oil companies are also in Saudi Arabia. But these places are beautiful. They are developing. They are not a democracy. Democracy is not the benchmark for development. Democracy is just a form of government. And I make the point to America that Iran has a right to define its own system of government. Leave them alone. If Iranians want the Ayatollah, leave them to have their Ayatollah. China is not an American democracy. China is a big power. By the time Soviet Union was defining the world, it was not a democracy. So democracy is not a benchmark for development. Let's get that clear. Yes, I prefer democracy. That is my preference. With our kind of system, we don't even have a system. So everything about us is borrowed. So when you borrow everything, sometimes you lose those relevant social structures that is natural to you. And you should evolve through that system. Anyway, just stay tuned. Stay with Splash. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I'll tell you more. You have a brother.
And let's talk power. The program is State Affairs. I am Edmondo Pilo. My guest is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He is a political scientist. My guest is an analyst on human affairs. Dr. Akin Onigbide, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Good morning, Edmondo Bilo. It's a privilege, a pleasure to be in your studios today.
I look at this politics. Some see hope. Some see despair. What do you see?
We must never despair. We must never, ever give up. Human history is strewn with all sorts of discouraging and debilitating circumstances. But it is them that hope that win. No matter what the level of difficulties that we confront in our individual lives, in our communities, in our country, we must never, give up hope. We shall yet succeed. We shall yet be great. I'm hopeful.
What does hope do to the body?
Well, I am not a scientist, but I know enough to understand that hopelessness, depression, lack of faith generate terrible hormones. They even affect the mental state of individuals and communities. Hopelessness gives way to crime. Hopelessness has been identified as one of the major factors that encourages crime and criminality. And therefore, either as individual or as community, we must never allow ourselves to secrete hormones that will lead us into despair, into hopelessness. What hope does, understanding that the human makeup is not just our physical body, we also have a mental composition. It is the mind that controls most of our activities or inactivity. And therefore, the interface between our mind and our bodies must never be polluted by negative feelings, negative emotions. It must be in such a balance of interface that yet no matter how difficult things are, no matter how discouraging things are, we must always see light. We must always encourage ourselves, to see a brighter day after today. And we must also warn ourselves that even things are okay, even things are doing well, we must never take it for granted. The price of liberty, the writer said, is eternal vigilance. We must always be sure that even when things are right, that we do not abuse, the processes.
You just mentioned the mind. And it reminds me of Churchill's statement that the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. For you to build a great state, you must first dream it. And to dream it is a function of the mind. Is that not so?
Absolutely so. Absolutely. You can't be more correct. The realities that we confront, whether negative or first, exist in the mind of people. Even people that commit crime. A lot of times, it's when they lie down on their bed that they try to figure out. And those people, that think of great progress for society, for themselves, it all starts, from their minds. Therefore, even the scripture teaches us that we should guard our mind with all diligence, because out of it proceeds all the issues of life. Mind is an extremely powerful, gift of God that enables us to envision, to translate our physical abilities, our physical resources in the world into what becomes, of benefit, to all of us. Empires of the future indeed are empires of the mind.
That means you are telling us that if we want to build a great future, we must build a system that advances the minds of the people. A system that is so robust that the mind begins to think creatively.
I like to add that, as a matter of fact, no society, no individual can accomplish more than his mind can conceive. Whatever it is that an individual wants to accomplish, whatever it is that a society wants achieved, must be through the instrumentality of the mind. If Nigeria wants to rival all the countries of the world in science, in technology, in mathematics, it goes to our educational system. We cannot compete with countries that take education very seriously when we even shut down schools for festivals, when we don't give books, to our children to read, when our school system is so expensive that it is only those people, that have money that can attend those. The countries, that make progress are those that are committed, both in terms of what they say and what they do, to the development and the cultivation of the human intellect.
So how would you describe the leaders of a system of poor education, system of poor health care, a system where the people cannot feed well because the agricultural sector is down? When you pray, what are you asking Allah to do for you politically?
I pray generally.
Okay.
And I tell Allah to make my way easy. give me those things that I want, and even more, the ones that He wants for me. That's what I pray about. I pray generally. I don't restrict my God to a particular thing. I don't say, for example, Allah, I want to be the next member of the House of Assembly. No. I tell Him, I have good intentions, and make my way easy.
You have good intention.
Of course I do. It's obvious.
Good intention.
Yes.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Madam Nwanyeruwa, yesterday, Amaji Emeruwa came with a report that when he came to your house to discuss how to move this community forward, you refused to cooperate with him. You did not only refuse to sensitize the women, you boldly told him that women will never pay tax. That is why I summoned you here, to know if truly you stopped him from discharging his duties and boasted that women would never pay tax.
Well, I did not stop him from discharging his duties because I did not follow him to his workplace, and my house is not the only household where women live. He could have gone to another compound and count as many women as he wanted to count. He was the one who came to my house, spewing some incoherent sounds. I heard something about Nwanyeruwa sensitizing women. He also mumbled something about counting women and domestic animals. I promised him that none of that is going to happen in this land. Not now, and not anytime in future. How then did I stop him from discharging his duties?
Wait. Dr. Nwoko, how can Nwanyeruwa ask that question? How then did I stop him from discharging his duties? When she was insisting that no way that women will not pay tax.
She spoke in her own compound. Amaji could have gone to, like she said here, Amaji could have gone elsewhere to start his counting.
Hey, woman. It's okay. Your mouth is too sharp. That is why we cannot put women in any political position. Do you know that you can pay fine for your unruly behavior and rude response to my question?
Nwanyeruwa, pay fine? My behavior unruly? And my response rude? Will you push me and still show me where to fall?
And you are now talking to me in parable. Eh?
Will you ask me a question and still tell me how to answer the question?
Just listen to your rants. Only one question, and you started ranting. If I lock you up now for contempt, people will start saying that Okugo is wicked.
Lock me up for contempt? For what? You asked for explanation, and I have just explained what happened.
You are still talking.
How does that translate to contempt? It's okay. My mouth shut up. I will not talk again.
Now, go home
and tell your fellow women to cooperate with the officials when they come to their various households for the enumerating exercise. Whether you like it or not, you must adhere strictly to the authority of the white man. The frown on the face of a goat will not stop it from being prized in the market.
Okay.
You may go.
Okay.
Nwanyiruwa was bold there, but she was also cunning. Say, Dr. Nwoko, look at some of the questions she was raising. Will you push me and still show me where to fall? She was bold asking that question.
Because she was the leader of the women. So she had to put up that boldness.
Bold leadership.
Yes.
She asked again, will you ask me a question and still tell me how to answer the question? Yes, I can tell you how to answer
No,
the
you
question.
can't. You asked a question. So I have to answer the question the way I deem fit.
If you have to be rude,
She wasn't rude.
but Chief Okugo said she was rude.
Chief Okugo said she was rude. She said she was not rude.
What was wrong with the warrant chiefs during that time? The Igbo land was not known for warrant chiefs.
Exactly. And that was why they resisted the warrant chiefs.
At that point in time, Igbo society was purely Republican. Because the whites, when they arrived the East, they did not see a monarchy to help them run the business of taxation.
Yes.
So they needed to create warrant chiefs.
Yes.
Is it true that Igbo Wenze?
Then, Igbenweze,
But now,
they have political essays.
so the colonialists restructured Igbo societies by bringing in the warrant chiefs. The warrant chiefs became oppressive,
And made themselves kings.
but they were kings.
They were not. And that was why those people resisted them. We have no king. The Igbo society then was run by head of families. Each kindred or each family had the head, and each kindred was represented by a leader who also represented them at the village level. So they didn't need the warrant chiefs. But because the warrant chiefs were being paid by the white man, they were on salary. And they were also oppressing their people, taking money from them and taking their farmlands and including their women.
Including their women. Must men take women?
Well, question for women, for men.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Yeah, that was drama there. With Dr. Phil Nwoko of the Department of Classics, University of Ibadan. She's the author of the book About Women's Revolt. And what she has done with this drama is to tell the story of the Aba Women Riot of 1929. She has enacted history in this book, About Women's Revolt. Have you read this book? Read it. Drama. Dr. Phil Nwoko, thank you for bringing me back to drama. I enjoyed the interview with you. I like your book. The simplicity of the language, the power of storytelling, recalling history. Dr. Phil Nwoko is the Vice Chairman, Association of Nigerian Authors, Oyo State. About Women's Revolt. When women get angry, beware. Well, why is it that when women want to protest, they want to go naked. I don't know why. Because these women went naked. Nudity. This drama is also about nudity. And at some point, Dr. Nwoko will answer why. I still see it in this era when women get angry. So what do they expect us to do? So when we see them coming, should we run away? When women get angry, society shifts. In 1973, the Arab states used oil as a deliberate weapon, an embargo. Today, Iran is not issuing an embargo in words, but in action. A blockade, a disruption, a message no oil will pass. And the effect is the same as 1973. Factories begin to worry. Governments begin to calculate. Citizens begin to feel the pressure at the pump, in the market, in the cost of living. The war, you see, is no longer just between nations. The war in the Middle East has entered the daily life of humanity. This is the truth we must confront, that modern civilization is built on invisible dependencies. We believe we are powerful because we have armies, right? We believe we are secure because we have wealth, right? But in moments like this, we are reminded that power lies not only in what you possess, but in what you control. The lesson of 1973 was never fully learned. And so history returns in 2026. If Iran keeps its threat to bomb oil infrastructures in the Middle East, get ready for harder times. But I hear somebody said, but we refine locally. We refine locally. So why are we paying more? Hello, Aliko. Aliko Dangote, can you hear me? Why are we paying more? Where do you get your crude from? I thought they stopped selling crude in Naira to Aliko. Aliko Dangote, give us petrol. Let me talk about the lessons of that time. Let me read from a book, A History of the Modern World. Have you seen this book? A textbook of international relations. A History of Modern World. So let's read. Reading is feeding the mind. Feed the mind. For nations to rise, the human spirit must rise. And if you don't feed the mind, the human spirit does not rise. In Africa, we lay so much emphasis on feeding the stomach. When the people think of food all the time, they forget to feed their mind. When they don't feed their minds, they cannot be innovative. When they are not innovative, they cannot solve their problems. Tinubu goes to London. Will Nigeria be rich when he returns? Welcome home, Mr. President. What did you bring? Tinubu saw the king. I would have loved to see the queen. I love queens. Interdependence is a form of dependency. and the expansion of the global economy after the Second World War made each country more vulnerable to events in distant places. The author continues. In 1974, after 2.5 decades of spectacular growth, the Western economy boom came to an abrupt end. Signs of economic slowdown and inflationary pressures were already visible in the late 1960s, and recession might have occurred in any event. But it was the oil embargo growing out of the Arab-Israeli War in the autumn of 1973 that precipitated the crisis. Oil had replaced coal as a major source of energy. Readily available at low prices, it came primarily from the vast reserves of the Middle East and was transported easily and economically by tanker through the Persian Gulf and the Suez Canal. That was the Suez Canal that Egypt went to block at some point, causing Britain and France to collude with Israel to deal with Egypt. So the author and purchasers paid for the oil in dollars. The Western economies, the Japanese, and others in Asia had come to depend on cheap oil. In 1960, 14 of the oil-exporting countries in the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America formed the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, to curb the monopoly concessions enjoyed by foreign companies and to assume a larger share of authority over production and prices. I'm reading from the book A History of the Modern World since 1815 by Palmer, Cortin, and Kramer. So the authors continue. Within OPEC, the Arab states of the Middle East were the most assertive. The oil issue turned intensely political during the Arab-Israeli War of October 1973, when the Arab oil-producing states embargoed the shipment of oil to states accused of supporting Israel. The OPEC cartel cut back production and quadrupled oil prices. Apprehension spread in Western Europe and Japan and in the United States, which needed foreign oil to supplement its domestic resources. Never had an essential commodity risen in price so rapidly. The entire global industrial complex seemed vulnerable. The oil shortage and the price escalation coming on the heels of the international monetary difficulties and devaluations of the dollar in 1971 to 1973 sharply increased the balance of payment deficit for all oil importing countries and undermined currencies, accelerated an inflationary spiral already underway, and seriously interrupted the spectacular growth of West European economies. During the week, I had an interview with Seun Onigbinde of Budget. We looked at the word, and he made some piercing analysis of how powerless Nigeria is becoming. That interview will come soon, not on this edition. It's an interview you should listen to. Nigeria is still struggling to produce even 2 million barrels per day. We are struggling. And something tells me that we have the capacity to produce even 10 million barrels per day. So why are we struggling to produce 1.8 million barrels per day? We are not investing enough in that sector. And it is clear, you can see the way we treat the oil communities. So we need to look back and do things well. So in the days to come, we will do things well. The Niger Delta should be one of the finest places in the world. We will turn Ogoniland into paradise, that the world will come to Ogoni for tourism. We'll turn Bayelsa to a place of happiness and joy. They deserve to have good life. Oil communities should be rich places. Some of the best educational institutions will be located there. Are you from the Niger Delta listening to me this morning? Mark my words. We'll turn Ogoniland to paradise. I'm not talking about another century. I'm saying in this age, in this generation. Dubai was built within 20 years. Abu Dhabi, Doha, go to Bahrain, Oman. Righteousness exalts a nation. When the people become righteous, prosperity will come. So you check yourself. Are you full of hate? Are you full of hate? If you are full of hate inside you, you're one of the problems of Nigeria. That hate that you harbor, it is what you will get. That Nigeria is down is because of the character inside us. When the people are full of hate, anger, they will get it in return. So free your mind. Throw your burdens down. Love your neighbor as yourself. Once you do that, show love. From Owerri to Gusau, let love reign. From Ado-Ekiti to Ughelli, love will reign. We will define the moral virtues of the state and lead the people to progress. I'm not talking about another century. I'm talking about soon. So when you are called upon, do not be found wanting. Dakbo, the son of Lam, is on state affairs. Dakbo, the son of a teacher, is on state affairs. Dakbo, the son of a bookseller, is on state affairs. Why this interview? I'm saying I want to understand Dakbo. If I have to understand Dakbo, I need to know where he's coming from. Why do I want to understand Dakbo? I know that Dakbo likes power. Power for what? Dakbo Lam. Power for what? Dakbo says he has good intentions. Dakbo, what do you want to do with your good intentions? Dakbo Lam on State Affairs. Stay tuned. Interview.
Dakbo Lam Adesina is on State Affairs. Dakbo, good to have you here.
It's really good to see you again, Oga Bello. and it's good to be here.
You are fasting.
Yes, I am.
Are you praying too?
Of course, this is the season for both fasting, praying, and trying to be pure, getting close to your Maker.
What does it mean to be pure?
Some of the things that you know that are meant to be seen, you do away with them. For example, for people who take alcohol, they're supposed to drop that during that period. I don't take alcohol. I've never taken alcohol. You know, there's some other things that you know, that you yourself know that this is not right. And you've been praying to God to help you to be able to do away with them. There's a season for you to purify yourself and purge yourself of all of these things.
You become pure during Ramadan.
Because of the fact that you believe that you can drop these things. Some people actually drop some of these things, for example, like taking alcohol during the period, and then they never return to it. It's just a period of purging yourself of things that you feel that are not supposed to be.
So when you pray, what are you asking Allah to do for you politically?
I pray generally,
Okay.
and I tell Allah to make my way easy. Give me those things that I want, and even more, the ones that He wants for me. That's what I pray about. I pray generally. I don't restrict my God to a particular thing. I don't say, for example, Allah, I want to be the next member of the House of Assembly. No. I tell Him, I have good intentions, and you know, make my way easy.
You have good intention.
Of course I do. It's obvious.
Good intention.
Yes.
You are a politician.
Yes, I am.
You are the son of Lamb.
Yes, I am. The
A
great
former-
lamb.
The great Lamb.
The great lamb.
A former governor of your state.
Yes.
What did Lamb teach you?
First and foremost, it was my English teacher. At the time I was to write my WAEC exam, he was the one who taught me English. And I had my first WAEC when I was in SS2. I didn't even wait till my SS3 before I wrote my first exam, and I passed English. So all of the exams that I've written were before I entered the University of Ibadan. I'd never failed English. So it was firstly my English teacher, my father, and then my political mentor. It taught me to be steadfast. It taught me to know how to persevere. Even without him telling you that you should know how to persevere, seeing everything that happened to him will teach you that you must persevere in life. And to also know that at the end of the day, perseverance, peace.
Lamb was a teacher,
He was a teacher.
a professional teacher. He taught in schools.
Yeah, and at some point he was a principal. After that, he had a bookstore somewhere in Popoye Moja, around the Okeado in Ibadan.
He was a bookseller.
He was a bookseller.
You are the son of a bookseller.
Yes.
So there were a lot of books in the house.
A lot. A whole lot.
Did you read them?
Well, some.
How much did you read as the son of a teacher?
Well, I did. I tried my best. I still read till today. If you get to my house, I have an office in the house. I have books that I read. You know, I still read. I like motivational books. It encourages me. It strengthens me. It tells me that nothing is impossible. And maybe because of the fact that I read, at the time I stepped out in 2011 and said I was going to try to go to the House of Reps, a lot of people thought I was mad. Because they felt, oh, what experience does he have? Why is he starting from House of Reps? Why is he not starting as a councillor? Is it because of his father? And meanwhile, I never discussed with my late dad. It was just me trying to experiment what I've been reading. It's power in dreaming big.
You were reading about power.
Yes.
You like power.
Power is good if you use it very well and to the benefit of the people. It gives you leverage. It makes people to remember you for good, and you'll be able to carve your name in gold.
You were a student of the University of Ibadan when your dad was the governor.
Yes.
How did you cope as a student? Your classmates knew your father was the
course,
governor.
Of course.
How did you cope?
You are welcome, my dear listener, to an you are of healing, of deliverance, of breakthrough in the mighty name, I pray. Lesson 2.
Praise God. You just
Lesson 2.
praise God. You just listen.
I see you in lesson 2. I see you in lesson 2. Jesus.
Praise God. You just listen to the exciting study of today.
You are welcome, my dear. Testimonies in Jesus.
Praise.
Yes, I dress well. Had my car. I go for lectures. But you know, Faculty of Technology in University of Ibadan is not a place that you play around. So as much as I was a bit social, I was balancing it with my education.
So when you say a bit social, what did you do as a student on campus?
Well, once in a while we'll go out. Once in a while to party, we'll go for awards. Back then I used to win awards, best dressed student, best car on campus and all of that. So it was a bit of social, but it never affected my education.
Did you have police following you around?
Of course not.
You didn't have any security?
No driver, nothing. Well, I drive myself.
You were just there?
Just there.
A normal student?
Normal. But of course, governor's son had a good car. A lot of people will not even know that when I entered 100 level 1999, I was driving my father's Peugeot 504 that I refurbished. That was the car he was driving, he was using before he became governor, you know. And after a while, I think a lot of people went to him to say, why would you allow your child to be driving a car in school, blah, blah, blah. So he seized the car from me.
He took that car from
Yeah,
you?
he seized the car from me. I didn't have a car. So after a while, but at that time, I had set up my cyber cafe in Oluyole Estate. You know, that cyber cafe, Skynet World, somewhere at the junction of Mobile. When you enter from Mobile, before you turn right, as if you are going into Oluyole Estate, the plaza by your left-hand side, that's where my cyber cafe was. And you know, 1999, 2000, year 2000, it was a good time for cyber cafe owners.
Yeah.
So I was the son of a governor and I had a cyber cafe and I was making a lot of money from there. So I bought my first car myself.
You bought your car yourself?
Yes.
Your mommy didn't give you money?
No, I was making money already. So I had to I didn't have so much money to be able to buy a brand new car. So I went somewhere in Orita Challenge and I saw the Stanza. It was a Nissan Stanza at that time. It was abandoned by the owner. One Baba that used to sell gold around Ekutedo. I've forgotten the name of the Baba now. He was the owner. So I bought the car, paid, renovated, rehabilitated.
And onwards. Thank you, Father, for hearing us. For in Jesus' wonderful name I pray. I expect your testimonies shortly. Amen. God bless you as I see you next time.
Praise God. You just listened to the exciting study of today in the Sunday Bible School of the Gospel Faith Mission International. For counseling and prayers, you can reach Pastor J.K. Akinola on 0803 337 6660. Earth and the end make heaven.
For our walk in this world, they resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Glory be to Jesus, dearly beloved, and welcome to another wonderful lesson in our serious studies about the Holy Spirit. You know, and this is very, very important for us. Glory be to Jesus, dearly beloved, and welcome to another wonderful.
In cool money.
And at this time, you were also watching your daddy play politics.
Of course.
What kind of politics did Lamb play?
Progressive politics. A politics that is very uncommon these days. You know, very progressive.
God bless you as I see you next time.
Oh, let the ancient words impart.
Glory be.
The only time I left briefly was when I went to serve in Enugu.
You are a local guy.
I think I am a local guy.
Local guy. You know Ibadan.
Yes, I do know Ibadan very well.
You know all the corners.
I know Ibadan. At some point in my life, when I left university before I went for service, in the evening I'll just take my car and just drive around. So I know corners in Ibadan. Sometimes when my driver is taking me out, or if we're going out and there's traffic somewhere, I know how to maneuver Ibadan.
You were a young boy who knew town.
I was a young boy.
You had street credibility.
Yes, I think I do. I think I do.
Can I call you a street guy?
Well, if it's a good thing, why not?
Don't you play your politics on the street?
Well, I do, of course. For anybody who plays politics in Ibadan Southeast and Northeast, must be a street guy. You must have street credibility. That's the core Ibadan. That's a place where people don't care who you are. They only bother about your relationship with them.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to.
Let's walk down memory lanes. Let's talk history. Let's talk politics. And let's talk power. The program is State Affairs. I am Edmondo Bilo. My guest is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He is a political scientist. My guest is an analyst on human affairs. Dr. Akin Onigbide, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Good morning, Edmondo Bilo. It's a privilege, a pleasure to be in your studios today.
I look at this politics. Some see hope. Some see despair. What do you see?
We must never despair. We must never, ever give up. Human history is strewn with all sorts of discouraging and debilitating circumstances. But it is them that hope that win. No matter what the level of difficulties that we confront in our individual lives, in our communities, in our country, we must never, give up hope. We shall yet succeed. We shall yet be great. I'm hopeful.
What does hope do to the body?
Well, I am not a scientist, but I know enough to understand that hopelessness, depression, lack of faith generate terrible hormones. They even affect the mental state of individuals and communities. Hopelessness gives way to crime. Hopelessness has been identified as one of the major factors that encourages crime and criminality. And therefore, either as individual or as community, we must never allow ourselves to secrete hormones that will lead us into despair, into hopelessness. What hope does, understanding that the human makeup is not just our physical body, we also have a mental composition. It is the mind that controls most of our activities or inactivity. And therefore, the interface between our mind and our bodies must never be polluted by negative feelings, negative emotions. It must be in such a balance of interface that yet no matter how difficult things are, no matter how discouraging things we must always see light. We must always encourage ourselves, to see a brighter day after today. And we must also warn ourselves that even things are okay, even things are doing well, we must never take it for granted. The price of liberty, the writer said, is eternal vigilance. We must always be sure that even when things are right, that we do not abuse, the processes.
You just mentioned the mind. And it reminds me of Churchill's statement that the empires of the future are the empires of the mind. For you to build a great state, you must first dream it.
Part 1. Part 2 will come on another edition of the show. Dakbolam. On the front page of The Guardian, Tinubu rallies Nigerians for peace, improved security. Says security is collective responsibility. I agree with the president. We need to be vigilant. You are the first line to your own security. Know those in your area. If you see something, say something. Be alert. Watch carefully. If you see something, say something. Don't keep quiet. Report to the police. Report to Amotekun. Cooperate with the police. Cooperate with Amotekun. We need cooperation now. Watch my back, I watch your back. President says security is collective responsibility. UK visit sends message of tolerance among faiths. Sustainable development can't be achieved without peace. Shetima warns. Exactly. No peace, no prosperity. No justice, no peace. Can Catholic bishops felicitate with Muslims? Can Catholic bishops felicitate with Muslims? Urge sacrificial living. PDP will survive current crisis, says party chairman. Who is the party chairman now? The Ijaw quest for Nigeria's fourth pillar. The Ijaw quest for Nigeria's fourth pillar. I want to read that spotlight. You'll find it on page 10 to 11. I want to read that. Before Tinubu leaves northern elites behind. That sounds interesting. You'll find those stories in The Guardian. 2027. Good governance matters more than age or region. Kanuche. Good governance matters more than age or region. Allegations of bank collusion emerge in $43.5 million dividend dispute involving Oriental Energy. 2027. Olubado cautions politicians against exploiting religion for elections. Tax reforms will favor women, youth, federal government assures. What about women didn't want to pay tax? And they went to war. They dethroned the warrant chiefs. They remind me of Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. She grabbed the Oro stick and ran with it. You want power? Snatch it. Grab it. Run with it. On the front page of the Saturday Vanguard, how we were sexually exploited in Mali. 2 Nigerian teens shared their ordeals. Who took them to Mali? Delta Festival outrage, Isoko Nation. Action Aid demand justice over sexual assault against young women in Ozoro. Did you see the videos? Okay, the police has arrested them and they should be charged to court. That is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Because of one masquerade or one festival. And you say nobody should come out in a town, in this age, you don't want women to see the masquerade, to see the festival. There must be something wrong with that festival. You don't want women to see. Yet they wanted to see the inside of the women. They were tearing their clothes. Randy boys pretending to be celebrating festival. All right. If you can't take us home, say it, stop pretending. Vanguard visits Benue camp, captures human cost of Nigeria's crisis. I see children, then I realize all mine are dead. Terrorism victim. Stop sending words. Let's return home without fear of being killed in our sleep. Another victim. They should defend themselves. Why should you wait? Bandits have been attacking your communities for more than 5 years. Defend yourself. It's your right. Defend yourself. Because as we stand now, the Nigerian state does not have the capacity to defend its citizens. So we must look for other options. Your army is not well taken care of. The boys are complaining. But somehow, we will build a new army. An army that is well taken care of. If you pay the sacrifice, your family will not regret it. Because somehow somebody must defend the land. In the past, we had warriors. We must defend the land. And we must build a kind of security architecture that also treats the operatives well, so that they are gallant, they are motivated to defend the land. And that is a task that must be done. Why insecurity is creeping into Yoruba land? You want to read that story? Why insecurity is creeping into Yoruba land. Gani Adams is talking here on page 14 of the Vanguard. Find the Vanguard and read that story. You can call the radio station 070 694 930 00 070 694 930 00 or 070 144 757 70. That is 070 144 757 70. You know, after I take my time to call this number, slowly, I still get people sending me text message that I should send them the number. Okay, I'll be slow now. Nobody should send me any text message anymore. 070 694 930 00. Then the other number is 070 144 75770. So if you send me a text message anymore, I will sanction you. I'll make sure your radio doesn't work again. I have the power to do that. From here, I will shoot your radio. Boom! Your radio will bust. Boom. All right, call the radio station. Thank you. Good morning. Hello? Hello. All right, keep trying. On the front page of The Nation, Tinubu, security is everyone's responsibility. Yeah, Mr. President, I agree with you. Maiduguri residents defy fear, turn out in large numbers for Eid prayers. Well done, guys. Come out, don't run. But again, as you come out, protect yourselves. How brave security guard thwarted bombers at Unimed Teaching Hospital. How brave security guard thwarted bombers at Unimed Teaching Hospital. So call the radio station. Outrage over alleged sexual assault on female students at Delta Festival. And Ozoro has a university, that town, Ozoro. I was in Ozoro last year. There's a Niger Delta University there, beautiful campus. Beautiful campus. So you should not be having such festivals around such a communities. We should ban such festivals that you don't want women to see. There's something wrong with that festival. We should not allow that in this age. And when you hear people saying it's what our ancestors did, we must continue to do it. There are people that are not thinking. What value does the festival bring? What value? We must begin to measure value, not just doing. Okay, you've closed down the town for a festival. What value? Is it bringing development? So you are saying if you have such a festival, you even allow white tourists to see what you do? So what is the value of those festivals? We must measure value. And if it's not adding up, we stop it. That's how societies grow. Don't come and tell me that our forefathers did this, that. That was in their own time. And if we measure what they did in their time, if it's not productive in our time, we stop it. I'm not my forefather. I'm not my ancestors. They've done their own. This is my own age. We define our age. That is how thinkers operate. If issues of the past are not good enough for this age, we discard them. And in the future, the children of that age can discard what we have done today. Don't tell me it's your ancestors. Where's the ancestors? We are hungry. Ancestors, give us food. Where are they? They are killing us. Where are the ancestors? Call the radio station.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm Deborah from Ibadan.
Happy to hear your voice.
In Africa, in Nigeria particularly, in South
Your
Nigeria.
radio. Your radio is too close to you. Can you turn down the volume?
Thank you, sir. In southern part of Nigeria, I will say categorically that
I'm going to let you go now. I will let you go now. Thank you. Thank you. Call the radio station. Resignation, ministers, aides await consultation with president. Defection terms may determine fate. Ghana, South Africa, turn to Dangote Refinery. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Ogile. My name is Stephen. So I want to speak with regards to the issue that is happening in the Middle East. It is our fault that we have this kind of problem now. We are not supposed to be paying much money for fuel in Nigeria, if not for the mismanagement of resources. In the days when our refineries were working, before the Gulf War, we have no issue with fuel prices here. But now that they have torn our refineries and made them redundant, we have to rely on Dangote. And Dangote is buying at international price. So it's as a result of greed and corruption and mismanagement that is making us to suffer for a crisis that is happening thousands of kilometers away. Shouldn't have been. That is my take on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No plan to accept foreign deportees. Presidency clarifies UK migration deal. Bosun? Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you see? We picked your call and we were waiting for your hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Edmond.
Hey, that is John Onyisi.
Yeah, this is your friend, John Onyisi.
Yes, unmistakable voice.
It's a pleasure listening to you this morning again.
Thank you.
My spirit full of hope that Nigeria will surely be good.
We are coming.
Yes, Lam Additional Pikin, the son had every opportunity. If everybody has such opportunity, the person can do better and do even more. And I congratulate him for taking the bold step, not relenting on, not relying on his father. That my father was a governor, so I should be relaxing waiting for my father. No, these are the kind of people we need in society. Your father is doing his own, you do your own. But the insecurity that is creeping into the West, I can see that very soon, insecurity in Nigeria will become a thing of the past. I always say, and I'll continue to say, that provided the insecurity begins to touch the three major ethnic groups, especially the Igbos and the Yorubas, then the end is near. Definitely, the number of people that were killed in Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and Taraba, if they are to be killed in Yoruba land, Nigeria will be fighting war by now. So I can see insecurity coming to a close. And by the grace of God, it will come to a close. Thank you, Edmond.
Thank you, John. I like that. Hello. Okay. Have you read the book, The Sokoto Caliphate, by Murray Last? Read this book. You know, I've been looking for the book, and I'm happy it has been reprinted. These are some of the old books written in the 60s. I want to know the Sokoto Caliphate. What is it? And I'm happy this book is with me. The Sokoto Caliphate. You should have a copy of this book. We need to understand each other. We're not doing enough to understand each other. We just have some biases embedded in us. Somebody told you, you are not going out of your way to say, okay, what is this about? What is this about? That is why we should study. Our leaders should read. So that we understand each other. If we don't, we'll keep hating each other. We keep hating each other. See, you cannot take away the Igbo-ness of the Igbo man. You cannot take away the Yoruba-ness of the Yoruba man. Or the Fulani-ness of the Fulani. But if you understand the Fulani, you understand the Igbo, you understand the Ishekiri, we'll begin to build a nation. That's how you build a nation. Understanding. And sadly, we don't have leaders that have that understanding. So when they talk, they are too flat. You know, with the power of words, you can drive a nation to development. By just words. But you can't give what you don't have. You must study. The lines are open. Join the discourse. Good morning.
Edmond. Alhaji Chief Solomon Oladipo. Bola Iwolowon Sefiya, your old man. You say, let me use this opportunity to tell people that evolution you should talk about is happening. I want people to imagine if Obasanjo's daughter, Yabo, is just pronounced to be in APC. Is it not incredible? But I'm not surprised. And any day you hear that Jumoke Akindele is in APC, don't be surprised. My little time with Baba Richard, may so rest in peace. So he was answering a phone call, and I heard him talking to that person that he is solidly in PDP and he will die in PDP. He died in PDP. But around that time, I was following Jumoke about, and Jumoke was preaching Awolowo's this thing. I was moved that way when Jumoke Akindele was presenting Chief Obafemi Awolowo, a leader that he embraced. So don't be surprised if you suddenly hear that Jumoke Akindele is in APC. Don't be surprised. You see, that's where the revolution will start. I listened to Lam, Dr. Lam. I'm happy with him. He's a true son of his father. I used to play football with his father in our village in those days. And I'm not surprised that he did what he did. In fact, I didn't know the brother of mine who said, he came to me and said he wants to visit the governor. Tell God, he said, Lamidi. Who's Lamidi? Don't you know Lamidi again? With whom we used to play football at Ikija. I said, oh, is that the governor? Then I remember one day we were playing football. And somebody was, they said, Lamidi. I said, I will never forget. Just like yesterday. Edmond, it will happen. Nigeria is good. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Alhaji Bolariwa. Alhaji, did you kill Ram? Or this is not a Ram Salah? Who killed Ram? I want Ram. I want to eat Ram. Did Chief Akonde kill Ram? Bosun? Baba still a Muslim? Just like that. Baba should kill Ram. The next one. Okay. All right. Did Sheyi kill Ram? I saw Sheyi sharing food. She was serving soldiers. Mr. Governor, thank you for taking care of the soldiers. The lines are open. Good morning. There's another book you should read. Let's read. Find time to read. Some of us are just too busy. You are busy. Where are you? I'm busy, yet you are still broke. Rest. Sometimes rest. Take time to rest and read a book. You see this book, Quranic Schools in Northern Nigeria. I must confess now on this radio, I did not have a proper understanding of the Almajiri system. My understanding of the Almajiri system was too shallow. Until I read this book, Quranic Schools in Northern Nigeria. The Almajiri system is far, far more than we define it. It is intense. The philosophy behind this is intense. If we explore that philosophy. When I read this book, from page to page, I kept saying, So immediately, something struck me. What we can do with the Almajiri system that we see as a problem. It's not really a problem as such. It's because of the bad management of the Amajiri system. You can inculcate technological skill through that system. It is pure education. You know, where you hear about Islam, so like we think Islam is just about religion. Islam is far more than that. Have you studied the golden age of Islam? Islam is science. I mentioned the Ottoman Empire. At some point, Baghdad was the intellectual capital of the world, and it was anchored on Islam. So I'm recommending this book to you, Quranic Schools in Northern Nigeria, Everyday Experiences of Youth, Faith, and Poverty, by Hannah Hortner. You will love it. Look at the book. Are you interested in this book? Especially for those who want to be leaders. Men like Dakbolam Adesina should read this book, Quranic Schools in Northern Nigeria. We need to understand the North to solve the problem of the North. As we speak now, it seems the North is a burden on the state, and we need to solve that problem, or it will get to us. I heard somebody saying, leave them. They should be on their own. Say, look at this guy. They should be on. Can't you see all the Okada parks? You have Northerners? Can't you see? It's Aboki that is riding most of the bikes, and you are saying let them be on their own. Many of them were displaced in the North. If there is war in the North, there will be displacement. Many of them will run to where there is peace. In that case, some of them that have participated in that crisis will also come with that character to where there is peace. And they might start fomenting problems. That is why we must study and study hard. Quranic Schools in Northern Nigeria, Everyday Experiences of Youth, Faith and Poverty, by Hannah Hortner. It's a good book, Quranic Schools in Northern Nigeria. That's Amajiri schools. You can get this book on udarabooks.com. You can contact Udara Books on WhatsApp 080-999. That is Udara Books on WhatsApp 080-999-18449. Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but not.
Hello?
It's not clear.
Now, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now. Hello? Okay. Then another book I'm recommending to you. Good.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello? Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
What did you do to your phone?
As a person, we look at the issue from different perspectives. What concerns me now is how can we fix Nigeria? That's what concerns me as a senior citizen of this country. We can't continue like this. And I've said this several times on this great platform that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, being president of this country, does not mean he's wiser than me and you too. And to make Nigeria great is a collective task of every patriotic Nigerian. Do you understand? Patriotic Nigerians. So how can we fix Nigeria? It's what concerning me. We can't continue like this. I'm quite agree. We have bad leadership and systemic error. Even you joined the army as at that time. The system will corrupt you. That's what I want you to understand that.
Are you sure, sir, about true government?
I am telling you. This system does not start from this administration. We must be factual with ourselves and stop deceiving ourselves. How can we solve this problem of the systemic error? It's left to Mr. President and the legislative chambers.
No,
I'm blunt and very objective guy. And I'm not ready to celebrate what doesn't want to be celebrated. Yes. Now, the ball is in the court of the Mr. President and the legislative chambers. I simply divide government on this platform as an institution that cannot be managed by Mr. President alone. Likewise, at home too. It's an institution that cannot be managed by husband alone without having supportive, responsible wife and good children. Who are the wife? Who are the children? To make Nigeria great again is a collective task of me and you. Patriotic Nigerians.
Thank you.
Underline my words.
Thank you. We have to go now.
Is my name. Thank you.
Omobasho, thank you. Thank you. You said the ball is in the court of this legislature. No, it's in our court. Akpabio legislator cannot fix it. They can't. So next week we'll continue the discussion, okay? The next program is Ijoba Tiwa with Sheun Aribikola, the one we call Sheun Special. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmond Obilo. Remember, I'm not saying the military should overthrow. I just threw in that there. And I would have joined since now, the Buhari era. Perhaps I'm for remove Buhari as head of state, not Babangida. All right, thank you. Bye for now.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live